The Nissan Skyline. Is it worth all the hype that it gets? Is it just a good car, or is it a great car? I think it's a great car, and in this video I want to talk about why. This is why the Skyline is one of the best cars in Rocket League. The first reason I love the Skyline, and I'm sure a lot of you Skyline fans will agree, is that it's almost fully customizable. This is something that totally sets it apart from so many other premium cars we've seen recently in the game. Take the NASCAR bundle as an example. These cars are all totally restricted to using only NASCAR items. The most important of which are the decals and the wheels. These two item types are totally restricted. The problem with this is that it means everyone's Mustang looks almost identical. There's no individuality or self-expression with this car. I think this is a big problem because if there's one thing I know about Rocket League players, they love using unique cars that nobody else has, and they love to kit out their cars with cool designs that no one else has thought of, and that help express their personalities. Check out some of these amazing designs from my community. The sad thing is that none of these car designs would be possible on the NASCAR cars or the McLaren or the F1 car. But they are possible on the Skyline. You can customize your decal on the Skyline using any universal decal that you like, any wheels that you like, any topper or antenna. Pretty much anything can be used. The only item type that can't be changed is the engine sound, and that's not really part of the design anyway. And the only other restriction is that you can't use any other licensed items on the Skyline, but this is the same for all of the licensed premium cars. So no Rick and Morty wheels or toppers on the Skyline, but that's okay. The next reason is another one related to design. It's that the Skyline is a huge blank canvas. So what do I mean by this? Well, look at the shape of the Skyline. Look at its surfaces. It's basically just a big rectangle with flat blank surfaces on each side, right? There's almost no curves or folds or anything like that. There's nothing sticking out of the middle of the hood, like with the Dominus GT or the Dodge Charger. There's basically nothing obscuring or covering the decal at all on any surface of the car. Let's compare it to some other cars. Take, for example, the Breakout. If you put a decal on this car, look at all of these points where the decal doesn't show up. All of these points here, there's no decal on any of these surfaces. And the Dominus GT. Lots of blank surfaces, but there's a big engine in the middle of your decal. And there's so many other examples of this kind of thing in Rocket League cars. Or instead of something obscuring the decal, how about just extremely limited space? Like on the new Pontiac Fiero. This is one thing I really hate about this car. Your decal is limited to just this small area in the middle of the car. It totally ruins any decal you put on it, and it means that the car is really difficult to design. And it's the same way on many of the other cars in game. There's just not a huge amount of space for your decals. On the Skyline though, it's just one big open space for you to let your imagination run wild. It's just awesome. And the third and final reason I think the Skyline is one of the best premium cars in the game is I love using it. This one is obviously totally subjective, but actually that's my main point here. The absolutely best car in Rocket League is whatever car you enjoy using most. If the Octane makes you feel like a pro player who can execute amazing air dribbles, then use the Octane. If the Fennec makes you feel super tricky and helps you fake out your opponents, then main the Fennec. And if the Fiero makes you feel super fast, allowing you to beat your opponents to the ball every time, then join the Fiero gang. But if you're like me and the Skyline makes you feel like a fast, powerful, dominating player, then make the switch to Skyline main like I have. And that's it. Those are my 3 reasons that I think the Skyline is one of the best premium cars in Rocket League. If you found any of these convincing and you haven't yet picked up the Skyline, make sure you grab it before it disappears again on June 30th. And like the video if you liked it, dislike it if not, subscribe for more videos like this as well as a whole bunch of other Rocket League content. As always, thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next video.